Hi, my name is Glenn from Collector's Corner, also known as collect-corner.net. Many of you may have bought buses from us before, and for those who have, we thank you and appreciate your business. For those of you who haven't, we welcome you to our beautiful bus community. In front of us, we have several buses, different scales, also known as sizes. This video is geared for people to learn a bit more about scales. Many of you may know about this, and if you do, it'll serve as a review. And for those of you who don't, it'll be a little bit of an education for you. So you will learn which size might work better for you. We'll go over each bus, and we'll go over which one might actually work better for your needs too. Now we'll begin with what you see in front of you, which are 5 different buses, all different scales, which means all different sizes. What is a scale really? A scale is basically a fraction. For example, 1/87 scale. What does it mean? It means it's 1 on the top, which always remains the same, and the bottom, which is 87. 87 means it would take 87 of this New Flyer Excelsior bus to equal the length of a real bus. That's really what it all means. And the smaller the number, the bigger the bus. The bigger the number, the smaller the bus. That's all it really is. Once you know that formula, it's very easy. So let's measure this one bus and give you an idea as to how big this bus really is. So as you can see on the ruler, the bus is about 5.5 inches long. So if you don't have much space, this scale is perfect for you. You can display a lot of them. And in fact, this scale is the most popular scale right now in model buses. Why? Because it's the most variety. Transit, vintage, coach, modern. This is a modern transit bus, and there are many to choose from in this scale. Moving up is the next scale. This scale is a little trickier. Why? Because these buses generally don't come with a package. Therefore, the scale is not mentioned. We can only measure it on the ruler, but we can see if we put it side by side to our 187, you could see that it's longer. You could see the difference. So you could see if you collect 187, this might work okay if you're okay with a little bit of a difference. But if you're not okay with it, then that bus might not work for you. This one is almost 6 inches long. And again, looking at the two side by side, you can see the height is almost the same, but there's a slight variance because it's not to scale, it's different. So that's the 187, and sort of a bus that's not scaled at all, according to manufacturer. Now moving on is the 1/64th scale. Now you notice the numbers are getting smaller on the bottom, and the buses are getting bigger. If you compare the two, these are two identical buses in 2 different scales. Both New Flyer Excelsior, both from New York. This one, as you can see, is a little over 7 inches long, next to its counterpart, which is about 5.5 inches long. So if you like something bigger, 1/64 might work better. But one important factor to understand about 1/64th scale, there's not as much selection available in this scale. And up until recently, there really wasn't anything. But recently, iconic replicas have started to come out with a few 1/64s. So not as much to choose from, but a bigger bus. So that's a consideration with 1/64. The next bus is a very popular scale. It's 150 scale. In fact, this was very popular when buses first started to get made in the 90s in models. This is a Corgi fishbowl bus, very popular, very iconic, been around for a very long time. This bus actually has a livery of Command. For those of you not familiar with Command, it was a private-run bus company subsidized by the Department of Transportation in New York City. Command was based in Brooklyn, New York. In the early 2000s, Command was absorbed by MTA, the same livery as this New Flyer Excelsior, and is now called MTA Bus. These buses, of course, are part of history. You wouldn't see any of these on the street, and if you do, they're privately owned by somebody who loves fish bowls. But a very iconic bus from anybody from the 70s, 80s, would have seen these on the street, even late 60s. And also very popular in the 90s. Now, it's hard to find 150 scale buses. Finally, we have a 1/43rd scale bus. This is an up-and-coming scale in model buses because there really wasn't buses made in this scale. As you can see, this bus is quite larger than all of them on this table. If you put this next to the 150, you're going to notice a difference. This bus is almost, if we look at it, over 10.5 inches long. If we look from front to back, where this one is about 9.5 inches long, roughly. And you'll see the difference. The height's not the same. This is taller. The green one represents Manhattan and Bronx Surface Transit Operating Authority, which got absorbed basically by New York City Transit Authority. But Manhattan and Bronx Surface Transit Operating Authority was actually created by New York City Transit as an umbrella company underneath the other companies, which was New York City Transit at the time. So they just named it Manhattan and Bronx to differentiate from the old Fifth Avenue coach that they purchased. So those are 5 scale buses. We offer 4 out of the 5 because the one which is the one that's not scaled is one of our collection. All of these buses are part of the Collector's Corner collection, which is my collection. All of them are very hard to find, but you can find them here and there on our website, www.collect-corner.net. We always suggest you check all the different scales because you never know what you might find. This is Glenn Katz from Collector's Corner. We hope to see you online soon.